Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with a fun video for you. So the entire premise of today's video is basically 25 and 2025, but not exactly, just kind of. Some of these will be series that I want to read, some of these will be other things that I just would like to prioritize. This is also going to play into things that I may read for the challenge 25 and 2025, things that may be themed vlogs you get, etc. But these are just the things that stand out in my mind as things I want to read this year. And I have it broken down into 4 categories, so I'll timestamp those down below for you and go through them. Each category obviously does not have 5 items. We have like 8, 5, and 2 categories with 6. So that'll be a good breakup of things. I don't know that I've done some of these, but I've not been good about them, and I think the things I picked this year is going to enable me to really excel with this project. So these are my priority reads in the romance genre for 2025, and I think y'all might be surprised by some of these. First up, we have Lila Sage's Rebel Blue Ranch series. The last one comes out in 2025. That's 2026. We are not jumping that far ahead yet. And I want to read this because I've heard good things about the series overall. Even if they're not all like 5-star reads, everyone I know that has read them has just enjoyed them and had a fun time. And I feel like that's where I should start my cowboy romance journey. Restart my cowboy romance journey. I've read some cowboy romances, not a ton. It's not exactly my favorite or a go-to for me, but I am super intrigued about this series. I think these covers are really interesting with their design elements. I also think it's really fascinating that it got picked up by a publisher, because I do feel like cowboy romance is like, it's not always, but it is something I kind of view as a category romance thing more than a traditionally published romance thing usually. So I don't know, I'm intrigued by these. I like the covers. I think they're such a fun like retro vibe, and I feel like reading 4 of them in 2025 is pretty doable. This is why I say like it's 25 books, but it's not quite 25 books because some of these are series, but we're considering them all like one section of this challenge. Then we have a book I have returned, checked out, started, not finished, from KU repeatedly, and that is Demon's Dream. This is a behemoth of a black romance that I really, really want to read. It is a dark romance. It is something that like everyone I know that's read it, basically you sit down, you read it, and you read it in about a day or 2 max. So it's long. It's over 700 pages, I believe. And that's why I've not read it yet, because I just have not had time this year, like when I have wanted to read it, to like sit and read a book. So hopefully early next year, I will sit down and read Demon's Dream. I'm very, very excited for it. I've heard nothing but good things. It feels extremely up my alley for what the dark romance is in it and stuff. So yeah. Next, I'm gonna have a couple of you in the comments freaking out about this one. I already know it. It is the Sci-Changeling Trinity series. This is actually, so the reason this got slotted in is I was gonna do Penn Cole's Spark of the Everflame for the hardest reading challenge that I'm doing. I'll link to that down below. I talk about it in my wrap-ups and my resets. But I realized if I do the Sci-Changeling Trinity series, that's easy. That's already like 4 books. I already want to read it. I loved reading through the Sci-Changeling series. I did a whole vlog series of those 2023-ish, I think. I had a great time. I just like am really bad to go back to things, as I've discussed previously, and like things I'm leaving behind. It'll come up again in my goal setting video here. But I want to finish / get current with the Sci-Changeling Trinity series because I really liked the first book. And I feel like there's enough books in this series for me to count it for the hardest reading challenge, because so this year I read the first book in this series, like the spinoff. So I would just really like to continue on. And again, they're so fun. They're so engaging. I really should be continuing on, because it's not like one of my other favorite authors of a long series is like putting out books fast enough at a pace for me to like do more than stay current. So there's that. We're gonna do that. Next, we have one that I know one of my members is gonna be very excited about. I have been on an Omegaverse journey lately. I have been enjoying a lot of Omegaverse. I need to read Lola and the Millionaires still. So I'm going to read Lola and the Millionaires this year. Part 1 and part 2. It's going to happen. I'm really excited for it. This is one that like, I have it. I just haven't picked it up. Why? Who knows? But I haven't picked it up. So we're going to pick this up. Next, we have Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. So I still need to read Teen Players by her as well. But Outdrawn is her sapphic romance. I read like the first chapter of it and I liked it. And I just really, truly need to continue, because it is a sapphic romance about 2 like artists, and I just love that entire setup. It's exactly what I need. So I would really like to read this. Next we have Kate Daniels. So I've been slowly rereading Kate Daniels and doing the graphic audios. We are going to be up to like book 8 or 9 in graphic audios like early next year. So I think as soon as I have a date for book 10 / preemptively, I'm probably going to do a vlog series where I read through all of Kate Daniels. I read to about halfway in the series back in the day. So this is basically a whole new fresh start for me, and I'm really, really excited to revisit it and see what I think as I continue on and work my way through all of Kate Daniels via graphic audios and honestly just have a delightful time because I know that's what's going to happen. I've got to finish Kate Daniels. I'm tired of putting it off. I want to be able to read the spin-off series, the Wilmington Years and stuff like that as well. I think I've also put them off because in a weird way, Kate Daniels makes me nostalgic for living in Georgia, which like that's where I met Grumps and stuff. Like that's where I went to college. I went to a chunk of high school in Georgia too. Like, I don't know, Georgia holds a special place in my heart. And yeah, it just kind of makes me weirdly miss Georgia, which is an odd statement because like it's post-apocalyptic Georgia, but still. And then we have the Ravenswood series by Talia Hibbert. I just would like to continue this series and decide if I want to read all of them or not. I have some of them physically from a friend who offloaded them. And I also have enjoyed the first, like, I think 2 I've read in the series. So I just think it makes sense for me to dedicate some time this year to reading through the rest of the Ravenswood series. And I think they would just be a really fun time. Last but not least, in the romance section, we have Christina C. Jones's Predators Motorcycle Club series. I want to read these. I have wanted to read these since I started coming out. There's 2 of them, and I feel like I should just start reading them. So they went onto the list for this year as I was thinking about like priority things to read. I also have just continued to slowly work through her backlist, and I think this year I would like to continue that movement of working through her backlist, but that's just like a never catch up backlist to me, not a like manageable catch up backlist. Whereas like some authors I love, like Katie Robert, I probably could catch up on her backlist pretty quickly, but Christina C. Jones's backlist is massive in the best ways. I love that I have this well to dig through of her books. So that's our romance section. Let's talk about the not romance titles as I'm categorizing it, which sounds silly, I know, but truly that's what it is. These are a variety of genres, mostly sci-fi and fantasy, that I want to read this year. So I have 5 of those. First up, I want to read the Jade Legacy trilogy. This will definitely be a vlog where I read all of them, talk about my thoughts and feelings as I go. I've wanted to read this series since it was coming out, and I don't know why I haven't. So it's completed, and I feel like I should read it. I think I'm going to like it. I think I'm going to like it a lot because it's like mafia, sci-fi, fantasy, post-apocalyptic, I don't know. But like there's like mafia themed stuff in here, so I love that, and it all deals with Jade. That sounds fascinating. I don't know, this just feels extremely up my alley, so we're diving in. Next, I'm gonna catch up on Murderbot finally. I've read like the first 4 novellas, I think, maybe 5, but I want to go back, reread all of Murderbot, read the novels, just do a big catch-up video. Again, most of these will probably be videos. Just do a big catch-up where I read through all of Murderbot and share my thoughts and feelings on it. I love Murderbot. I got caught up in current and then I never kept caught up in current. So we need to do that. So I've read a good bit of N.K. Jemisin. I really like her writing, and I never finished the Inheritance trilogy, and I never finished the 5th season, the Broken Earth trilogy. So I'm going to start by reading the Broken Earth trilogy this year. Each of those books are behemoths. They're chunky boys. I should have done it the previous year when there was a read-along with my friends, but I did not, and that's okay. I am planning to reread the first 5th season book and the first book, the 5th season, and then continue on through the series and finish it. That's probably going to take me 3 months because they're so long. I don't see myself marathoning them completely, but I do want to be current. Next is Gideon the Ninth. This is a series I've put on and off my TBR repeatedly, and I think it's just time I try it. If I love it, I will continue on. This is like sapphic, space, death, and all these things. I feel like the ways in which people describe Gideon the Ninth like very wildly, and that makes me more fascinated to read the books and understand what is going on here and like why people feel certain ways about them. And I'm just curious. It's like the Locked Tomb series, but I'd at least like to try the first one. If I like it, I will continue forward. If I don't, that's also okay. Next and last in the not romance category, we have Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I have had different, I've read from Rebecca some, but I've had different titles by her on my TBR. Black Sun is one that I have on my Libra already. I just need to read it. Like, I just need to read it and see what I think and then continue the series if I like it. And if I don't, that's okay. We'll say goodbye. And I think that's like absolutely fair and valid to do, but I can't know that until I read the first book. So I really want to read this and I'm really excited to see what I think of it. All right, let's talk about the 6 nonfiction books I want to read in 2025. This is not fully comprehensive. I would like to read more than 6 nonfiction books, but the bare minimum is these 6. And like I have another TBR coming for y'all like probably in February with like other nonfiction books I want to read that are like very specific to things I'm going through in life. So there's that. Okay, so Braiding Sweetgrass has been on my TBR multiple years. I've checked it out and I've returned it because I just was like, I don't know. But I think I'm going to read this one early in the year and I'm going to treat it like a devotional situation where I read like a chapter a day in the mornings until I finish. And I'm probably going to do that with a lot of my nonfictions where like I read 1 or 2 chapters a day. I might take some notes on it or journal on it or whatever I want to reflect on and then move forward with my day and read other books, right? So Braiding for Sweetgrass is very high on that list. I also really want to read Filter World. I think this one is super duper relevant right now with everything going on in the world and the way we are watching things like TikTok attempt to be banned. We don't know yet right now as I'm filming this, obviously, and we won't know until January, or watching. But this talks about how algorithms have flattened pop culture and also just like kind of the effects of all of this stuff. And I really need to read this. I'm so intrigued by it. Then I have a nonfiction I got from Libro FM from their audio arc program, and that is You Gotta Eat. This to me seems really relevant as someone who has struggled throughout my life with an eating disorder. And I think it maybe hopefully will be a fun reminder, we'll call it. Another one I got from Libro is Period. This one is all about the history of menstruation, and I'm just really intrigued about it. I would like to read it. I got it from the same place as the other one, so I'm like, we're gonna try it. Then we have Cultish. This I don't know if I'll like this or not, right? Because I know a lot about cults. I've followed that stuff a lot of my life and been interested in it. So I don't know if this is going to be a complete rehash of things I already know, or if it's going to feel like something fresh and new. If it doesn't feel fresh and new, I might DNF it. I don't know. But I really want to read Cultish. And then I also really want to read Disability Visibility. This one has been on and off my TBR as well. And I just think it's one that I would like to prioritize this year and learn more from. All right. And then last but not least is my manga TBR for 2025, my priority. Okay, we have 6 here as well. First up, we have Lovesick Ellie. I have the entire completed series that I've never touched. So I guess let me know in the comments if you want to finish it for that one, because I will literally start and finish it for y'all in a video. I also would like to read Don't Call It Mystery. This is a fantastic josei mystery series, and I have the first 4 volumes of it down here, so I think it's just time that I actually pick it up and see what I think of it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it, is the thing. Then I also would like to reread Blackbird. This I don't own physically, but it is on the Viz Media app. And I read this back in the day, like when I was newly married, so like in my 20s. And I really enjoyed it. So I just really want to revisit this series and see what I think of it now. The other series I really want to read this year and prioritize is Witch Hat Atelier. I've only read the first 3 volumes. So I really would like to get current with the series, and I had a goal and I've been struggling to hit that goal of reading a couple of months. So we're just gonna kick that into 2025 and say we will be current with Witch Hat Atelier by the end of the year. Then I also have a 4-part series, Master and the Beast. I recently picked this up as a completed like series at a used bookstore on a trip, and I figure I should put this on my TBR because I need to read it. It's only 4 volumes. It would feel like an easy check mark for the list. So that immediately got added. And then last we have Queen's Quality. I also picked up a bunch of these from a used bookstore. I basically am current with the series. Almost. I think I have through 17. So I'm not current, but I'm very close to current. I would like to read through all of Queen's Quality this year and be caught up. I do believe the series is ending this year, or about it to end. If it didn't, I don't know. We're close to the end. So I feel like getting current on it would be very beneficial to me, and also feel really good at the end of the year to be like, look at this manga series I finished. So yeah, those are my priority reads for 2025. Let me know in the comments your priority reads for the next year. You don't have to give me 25 of them. Like seriously, you can just give me a handful. And how are you picking what you're prioritizing? Because I would love to know that as well. I think it's so hard sometimes to decide what to prioritize and what not to, and like what is really like things that you're wanting to read. So let me know that in the comments. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a book stack emoji, because this just felt like a big stack of books to talk about. I will have links to everything I talked about for you down below, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will catch y'all in just a few days. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited